Welcome back to Raptors Today. Paul Jones alongside Ashley Docking and Savannah Hamilton. Let's talk about the Raptors' next opponent, the Los Angeles Clippers, finally getting it together. This team it's like permanent potential. You look at who they have, they just can't perform, and all of a sudden now, don't look really closely at the standings, but they're fourth. And after the James Harden trade, they took a major dip. They were working out roles and who was going to do what. And I tell you something, Ty Lue's a smart dude, and he's got a great coaching staff. They have started to figure it out. I think this team, as well as Phoenix, are two of the more dangerous teams that people maybe aren't looking out for in the West, with Minnesota and OKC garnering so much attention.
Yeah.
But actually, this is a really good team, and they got some great pieces, guys that are stars and know how to be stars and pull the cart.
The talent was never a question. Right? The talent of this group was never in question. And actually, just on our previous conversation about Doc Rivers and how you two kind of wanted to give him a pass for the difficult players. Well, that's what happened.
No.
The difficult players and situations that he went into. But to the credit of Ty Lue, and I'm not necessarily negating that, but to the credit of Ty Lue, he was able to take what could have been a really difficult and tumultuous situation in the Russell Westbrook saga. Is he going to start? Is he going to sit? Is he going to come off the bench? And he was able to make that work with all-star players. So that's a credit to him more than anything. I was just giving a cheap dig because, why not spice it up a little bit? But with this team, they are so good. And their big three are astounding. Every single game, you're like, oh, what's Kawhi going to do? Okay, Paul George can do a little something. Oh, James Harden. Oh, wait, Russell Westbrook. Then you have Terrence Mann. Then you have Norman Powell. Every single aspect of this team gets you excited in a certain way, shape, or form, depending on what type of basketball you're into.
Yeah.
And it's a really beautiful thing to see. I was watching Clippers-Lakers the other night, and one of the things, I don't even know how I forgot about it with Kawhi, just because we talk about his dominance so much. His fingers must have eyes. The way that he can pass, he stands up straight, puts you off balance, almost like that JV pump fake that you know is coming and you fall for every time, and then can just seek you out. Man, he is so fun to watch. And to your point, you were saying it's nice that he's healthy. Finally.
Yeah, exactly. We were just talking about that. But, I mean, even the fact that Ty Lue, and hats off to him, because you're right. It takes a special person to make all that talent combine together, and to have a player like Westbrook willing to now then come off the bench. And what we were also chatting about off camera, it didn't happen right away.
No.
But now that it has happened, it's working. Because you know what is better than losing? Winning, even if that means your role has slightly changed too.
I give Russ credit because he has sacrificed for the team, and they always say winning is about sacrifice. I want to go back to Kawhi. We just saw his numbers up there. With all the foofara around player participation policy and
spell that.
Load management.
Take a second to spell that.
Load management, all the off air I will. He's played 38 games.
Yeah.
And over his last 10, he's averaged 35, 36 minutes a game. It's not like he's sitting out going, I'm chilling here.
Yeah.
He's really, really upped the level of his play. And as good as Paul George is, as good as James Harden is, I just still feel that Kawhi's their top dog.
Oh, for sure.
1,000%.
1,000,000%. Yeah, he's the guy.
Yeah.
And with the Raptors going and taking an opportunity to play them, because they played them January 10th or 11th?
In that West Coast trip, yeah.
Yeah, it was a close game, but the Raptors had 15 turnovers, which led to something like 17 points for the Clippers the other way.
Yeah.
The Raptors only had 2 points off turnovers. So if the Raptors continue, and you guys know this more than anybody, the Raptors continue to be in these close games with teams that on paper are superior to them, but then it's just one key stat category that just falls off.
Yes.
Everything else is on par. So it's frustrating. And then I also understand why fans are sitting there being like, well, maybe we're close. Maybe we hit the play and da-da-da. It's it's going to be a tough sell. But the thing that you can depend on almost every night with this team now is that they will compete, which is at least better than where we felt like we were in December.
Yeah, I believe it was a 6-point loss.
Yeah, 126-120.
And even going into the game, Coach Darko said, hey, we're up against a championship caliber team.
Right,
This is essentially a good measuring stick to see where we are. And this is, don't forget, this is when the new transactions still happen. They're still adjusting on the fly. So you're right. It was actually good to see the level of compete that the Raptors could step up to their competition. But at the same time, there's always that one category that is the killer.
It falls off a cliff.
It's a killer.
It was free throws earlier. It was turnovers, which they haven't actually been terrible on. But
they've been a little better.
Hey, but at least the calls were fair.
Don't do that.
Raptors had more free throws.
I don't have money for that fine.
Raptors had more free throws in that game than the Clippers. Funny that would happen after.
That's crazy.
After Coach Darko having said what he has to say. Friday night, just got paid. No, I didn't. Filipino Heritage Night at Scotiabank Arena as the Raptors take on the Los Angeles Clippers. You can see it on Sportsnet, hear it on Sportsnet 590, the Fan. And for all of us here, for Ashley, Savannah, Jake, and Jasmine behind the camera, we say thank you for watching us here on Raptors Today.
Thanks for watching the Toronto Raptors YouTube channel. Check out our latest video and subscribe for more.